Yo, what is up, Jets Nation? My name is Richie, and today I want to break down episode 3 of Hard Knocks. Last night it came out, and I just watched it this morning. I was actually out in New York City at Webster Hall at a concert last night, so I wasn't able to watch Hard Knocks live at 10 p.m., and it was kind of making me crazy. In my head, I'm at this concert thinking to myself, oh my God, Hard Knocks is out and I'm not watching it live. I can't go live right afterwards like we usually do the first 2 weeks, but I had to get up a little earlier this morning and make sure I watch it before I head over to training camp, because right after this live stream, I'm getting on the road and going to One Jets Drive for the final open practice that I'll be live at as well. But let's get straight into Hard Knocks, guys, and let me know in the live chat, let me know in the comment section down below your overall thoughts of Hard Knocks last night, episode number 3. Without further ado, let's get straight into business. But before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way into the show, everybody. Good morning. Whether you're watching it live or you're watching a replay, I greatly appreciate by simply hitting that thumbs up button. Now let's get straight into business. The first part of this episode that I want to highlight is definitely Randall Cobb, because that's what it really kicked off. I think when we signed Randall Cobb, I think a lot of people didn't realize the impact that he's going to have on this New York Jets football team outside of him being a wide receiver for this squad. I think that what he brings to this team is that translator for Aaron Rodgers, and I absolutely loved what we saw in that wide receiver little huddle after practice, where the wide receivers coach was like, did you guys feel like this was a good enough practice? And Randall Cobb said, you guys got to get your shit together. Now, he did say that Rodgers will snap on you, and then Rodgers had to clear up the air yesterday during the press conference saying that's in my past. I'm not going to snap on anybody. Don't you guys worry. But Randall Cobb's been with Aaron Rodgers for 10 years. He knows him more than anybody else. And I love that he let these wide receivers know that if you do not get it together, Rodgers will not throw you the ball if he does not trust you. And that's simply because he doesn't like to throw interceptions. And if you are a wide receiver that Rodgers does not trust that's going to be in that spot at that right time, he's not going to give you the ball. And I thought that was really cool to hear from the savvy veteran of Randall Cobb. And I think that everybody needs to realize that, and I've been saying it on my channel for a long time, Randall Cobb's impact and his role on this team is a lot bigger than you guys may believe. You saw Randall Cobb on the sidelines. You saw him featured with his wife and his children. I think Randall Cobb is poised to have a pretty good season for this squad, and I don't think that's a bad thing. That's going to take targets away from Garrett Wilson or Alan Lazard or Hardman. That's not what I'm saying. I think he's going to be that clutch player on third down in the red zone. Rodgers will rely on him, but more importantly, I think his impact on this team goes beyond the field. It goes off the field, locker room presence, really digging deep into players and getting the best out of them. He provides that veteran leadership. Absolutely love that. Now let's get into Robert Sala's speech to start off as well. He was making a speech about there's 3 different types of players, and he went on and said, we want competitors that are internally motivated. And I really like that Robert Sala mentioned that since we got here, he's been trying to develop a culture. And that word culture gets thrown around a lot. We always talk about it, but I really believe that what his message with this team has always been, if you rely on the fame and you rely on the money and all the external factors to be your motivation, you're not going to be great. If you want to be great, it's got to come from inside. It's got to be beyond the money, beyond the fame, beyond the will to just impress other people around the NFL, around your family, your friends, critics. That should not be your motivation. Your motivation should come from the passion, the love for the game of football, and I love that that's Robert Sala's mindset that he's been trying to develop, instilled in this mindset within the organization since he came into the building 3 years ago. So I really like that speech from Robert Sala. He continues to impress me in terms of that CEO, leader of men. Absolutely love everything about Sala's speech so far. Then we got to see the feature of Dalvin Cook coming to the New York Jets. Dalvin Cook gets featured. He's a Jet. They also go out there and show that Breece Hall is returning, and then it just shows you how freaking good Breece Hall actually is. He's clocking at 21 miles per hour in his first practice back after being cleared from an ACL tear. That tells you all you need to know about how good Breece Hall is going to be this season. Might be a little slow start, but I think he is about to hit the old Breece Hall that we saw last year as a rookie. So overall, the running back rooms looking pretty good on Hard Knocks. They featured Izzy Amenikenda a lot in this episode as well that I really liked because he deserves a spotlight, man. All the spotlight is going to be on Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall, but I really believe that Izzy deserves the light, and unfortunately for him, he did get injured, but luckily it's not going to be a severe one, it's just a thigh bruise. Now, we got to get into Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson's chain, bro. Woody Johnson goes out there, and he has his own iced out chain that he got motivation from Sauce Gardner, which is hilarious. And he had a really cool speech, and I thought that was really moving that Woody Johnson went out of his way, and he had to, like, clear the air that it's not less serious, like, I'm the owner, listen up. He had to put the chain on, make everybody laugh, and then get more personable. And then he had a serious speech, and I absolutely love that Woody Johnson brings up the fans. And I think that's what Woody Johnson represents the most in terms of his speech. He wants to remind this team that not only is there expectations beyond, in the media and everything and in the locker room, but this fan base does not know how to handle it. We don't know how to handle this. And he's completely right. You got me. You got you guys in the chat. We are on cloud nine. And Woody Johnson wanted to remind everybody on this team that our fan base is ready to freaking go. And I absolutely love that Woody Johnson brings up the fan base because it's true. We are on another level right now in terms of excitement. So don't disappoint us. And I don't think they will, baby. Now, the next part I like is when we get into the Jets and the Buccaneers joint practice. Cue ball. I love that nickname for him, by the way. Quentin Williams is dominated again. He just goes out there, and then Robert Sala's like, damn. And he's like, what do you expect? I'm him. Like, you expect anything less? Like, Quentin Williams, you can't say enough great things about cue ball. He is on another level. And then I love that Mike Evans called him fat, and he got really upset. And you could tell it got it took to heart. And he's like, I'm trying to get those AD abs. That tells you all you need to know that Quentin Williams is modeling his game off of Aaron Donald 110%. I think that Quentin Williams is poised to go crazy this year. Better than last year. Yes, better than last year. I think that he is entering a new phase of his career where he's got paid. He doesn't have to worry about that. And now we can just focus on being the best version of himself, which I think is going to be the best interior defensive lineman for this Jets team that we've seen in over decades since the sack exchange, in my opinion. So shout out to Q Ball. Continues to be a dog. We did say Sauce Gardner getting featured a lot in this joint practice. He got beat over the top on a play, and then Jeff Olber came up to him and said, hey, what was that about? Like, that's not you. And then Sauce said, I heard ball, and I thought the ball was thrown over the middle. That's no excuse, Sauce. You cannot get beat over the top like that. Listen, if you're going to get beat over the top, Sauce, if it's in joint practice, great. Don't let that happen in a real game. I know that for sure, but not worried about Sauce at all. And then you saw Sauce Gardner get a little chippy, calling players too small, and really getting in the middle of the fights and stuff. So really cool to see that fire underneath your year two player from Sauce Gardner. And then they go and feature our other year two star in Garrett Wilson. Now, I thought it was interesting. Devin White, the linebacker for the Buccaneers, was talking to, who was he talking to? I forgot which Jet he was talking to, but he's like, yeah, I don't know who Rodgers' guy is yet. You guys got a lot of guys. Well, you don't know who the guy is, bro? It's Garrett Wilson. Duh. They go on to feature Garrett Wilson, and he was the star of that joint practice against the Buccaneers. I was there with my own eyes. He had at least 8 targets at 8 catches. Garrett Wilson was getting this catch, beating up on Carlton Davis and the Buccaneers secondary, and I think that Garrett Wilson will be the number 1 receiver for this New York Jets football team with Aaron Rodgers throwing them the football. It's just inevitable at this point. Not really concerned, not really worried about that. I think Garrett Wilson will become the number 1 option for this Jets offense, and I love that Aaron Rodgers went up to Braylon Edwards and he was talking, and Edwards or Sanchez asked him, yo, how's 17? Like, how's Garrett Wilson? And Rodgers, like, he's so quick. I miss him sometimes, where you think he's going to be on this spot, but he's so twitchy and so fast that even Rodgers has to adjust because of how talented Garrett Wilson is. But my favorite quote from Rodgers of what he had to say about Garrett Wilson is, best part is he's a good dude. And I think that really speaks volumes of how Aaron Rodgers evaluates his own teammates, that he prioritizes the character and them as individuals rather than being a football player. I think that if you are a really good person, good character, good individual, mixed up with the talent like a Garrett Wilson, that tells you that you're poised to be a damn superstar in this NFL league like Garrett Wilson is. Now, going back into Randall Cobb, they featured the relationship with Aaron Rodgers. It goes beyond the football field, man. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the godfather of Randall Cobb's freaking kid, and they look up to him as Uncle Aaron. So that is really tells you why the New York Jets wanted to bring in Randall Cobb. Not only is he going to be the translator for Garrett Wilson, Hardman, Corey Davis, and all the boys, but he is going to be that player on the football field when Aaron Rodgers needs to make sure they get this first down or this touchdown in this clutch situation. Randall Cobb's going to be on the football field, folks, and he might be on the football field a little bit more than you guys might expect. So I'm just warning you guys, and it's okay. Cobb's a beast. 32 years young, baby. I like it. Randall Cobb, shout out. Now, another player that they featured on this episode that I kind of really liked was Tanzel Smart. I think Tanzel Smart was really, really cool to be featured on this. And I knew this, but I was kind of shocked to hear that this is his fourth season with the Jets. Fourth season with the New York Jets and Tanzel Smart. He's never made the team, and he's played six games because he's always stashed on the practice squad. And I think he's really underrated, man. I mean, this player, whenever he does get called up, if there's injuries, he's ready to freaking go. And I think that having Tanzel Smart on the practice squad, hopefully on the practice squad this year, because now I feel like now he's on Hard Knocks and now his personality is being exposed in a good light that he might get claimed somewhere when the Jets do inevitably cut him. But the reality is this Jets defensive line is so freaking deep, they cannot cut. They have to cut Tanzel Smart. There's nobody on this team that's going to that they're going to cut over him, in my opinion. So if they can stash him on the practice squad again, he provides depth at that defensive line spot. Pretty awesome stuff. How about the rookie show, though? Jerome Cap being the star of it, showing up like Eminem. I absolutely love that because last week the rookie show was pretty cringy, not going to lie. But they went out there. They were all wearing the From Darkness to the Big Apple t-shirts, which I thought was hilarious. And the Jerome Cap absolutely stole the show. So shout out to Jerome Cap. And then getting into the final part of the episode, which was against the Buccaneers, the preseason game. We hear Robert Sala talking to Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner on the sideline saying, yep, everybody's playing against the New York Giants, even Aaron Rodgers. And Sauce Gardner and Cue Ball were excited about it, like, ooh, we're playing next week. Let's freaking go. And I thought it was interesting to hear Sala say that that game against the Giants is pretty much like a regular season game in terms of the atmosphere of MetLife Stadium. Sala wants Rodgers to feel what it's like to be in MetLife Stadium with the big crowd before, the first big game against the Bills. Sala does not want Rodgers to go out there September 11th and that be the first time he's on the football field as a New York Jet. He wants to and that totally makes sense. Like, I get that there's fear, but the Jets offense and the Jets starting defense, they need some reps, and everybody in the preseason gets reps in terms of starters around the NFL. So it's not like the Jets are doing something nobody else does. Patrick Mahomes freaking plays the whole first half with the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm excited to see what Rodgers and the starting offense with the starting defense does in that first game against the New York Giants. I love the feature of Zach Wilson's run, that 35-yard run. I thought it was cool to hear Ulbrich say to Sala, that was good for his spirit, man. That was really good for your spirit. What that basically means is that that's good for Zach Wilson's confidence because we could tell that Zach was a broken player last year after his first two seasons with these New York Jets. And I think that run kind of sparked that little swaggy of Zach Wilson, and he thought he was going to score. And then everybody was going up to Rodgers after that run like, oh, you can't do that. You cannot do that. And I thought that was hilarious. McCall Hardman was doing that to him. Randall Cobb as well. They were all impressed with the Zach Wilson run. And then you also heard 2 weeks ago Aaron Rodgers say to Zach Wilson, hey, you're so freaking athletic where if you're on your second hitch and there's no one open, you run. Like, you have to run. And then it goes into what happened on the field. It's exactly what Rodgers told Zach Wilson. So it is right in front of your eyes. The development with Aaron Rodgers helping out Zach Wilson is literally happening right in front of our eyes, man. I absolutely love it. But I also love that they featured Izzy. We saw his family in the crowd, and he got the spotlight he deserves. Unfortunately, he had to get injured. But other than that, man, I think that's going to wrap up Hard Knocks. Obviously, we did not get the W in that Bucs game, so there's a little sour taste in the mouths of the Jets players. You heard Robert Sala at halftime say, let's go freaking win this football game, but I'm not worried about a preseason L when you got Tim Boyle as the quarterback and pretty much every single backup that's not going to be on this team for week one against the Buffalo Bills. But overall, man, I think that was a solid episode from Hard Knocks. Definitely not the best. I think the first was the best, the second was the second best, the third was the third best, so they're slowly going like this, but not a big deal. I think that we get really good inside perspectives of this Jets football team, understanding how Robert Sala is as a head coach behind closed doors, a version of Sala we don't get to see, how Aaron Rodgers really manipulates the pocket and understands how to be that translator. You got Randall Cobb there. You got Garrett Wilson being his number one receiver and featuring guys like Tanzel Smart, which is really exciting. So, yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up this live stream. I just want to go live to give you guys my overall thoughts of Hard Knocks episode number 3. I'm about to hit the road right now and head to training camp, and I'll see you guys there. I'm going to be live at training camp afterwards. I'll be with Ryan, Jets Talk 24/7. I'm going with my father. It's going to be a good time. If you're going, love to see you guys there. Hit that like button, folks, on your way out. That's going to wrap up this show. Let's go, Jets, and I'll catch you next time. See you at training camp, baby. Let's go.